If you are no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stop judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm so happy you're joining me tonight, today, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is, whenever you are listening. I am grateful that you are here. This is the first show, the first Inspired Choices radio show with myself for 2019. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're listening well after that fact. These tools that I'm going to tonight, these keys, the 7 keys to receiving, will apply where you're listening. So please do enjoy this. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me after the fact, Christine at inspiredchoices.a, or you can get me right through the Inspired Choices Network radio show. You can check out all my social media connections. You can reach out to me wherever that works for you. So tonight we are talking about keys to receiving, but before we jump into that, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself. If I'm the first time you're listening to me, I'm happy that you're here. And to tell you about me, I am someone who is a mover and a shaker. I am someone who is always looking for greater possibilities. I am not very patient at waiting for things to happen. So I often one that's reaching out and creating at pretty fast speeds. And I know that creating quickly and with ease is possible. So I love doing that with my clients. I've been in my own business, coaching, doing business, individual personal work around relationships, confidence for more than 10 years now. I was 25 years in human resources, and then when something just pulled on me and said, no, there's more. And so I started my own Inspired Choices, Inc. And from there came my coaching, my business strategy, a lot of different creations, a lot of learning over the last 10 years. And of course, Inspired Choices Network is one of my creations that it's actually 2 years old today. Inspired Choices Network is 2 years old today. While I've been doing since 2011, producing since 2004, we launched Inspired Choice Network just 2 years ago. So it's a celebration day. Walking. Our baby's walking and growing and curious as can be, as am I. So I'm curious to know, what are you looking to create for your 2019 and beyond? What is it that you're desiring? And do you know what it's desiring, or do you just know more of what you do not desire? This show is a lot about that, and I have a special that I do want to share with you, a 10-year special I'm going to share with you later on in the show. But let's jump right into tonight's show. So 7 keys to receiving. Receiving. We all desire it and get it when it's not happening, or actually expect it to not happen. There are 7 solid keys to receiving, and during tonight's show, I'm going to share some easy step-by-step and power keys for you to change your receiving. So the first thing that's coming up for me right now is, do you know what you desire? Do you honestly know what you desire? Specifically, do you have in your mind the things that you would like to create, the things that you would like to have show up in your world? Or do you more know what you do not want? Either way, here's a really great to start, is to write down the things that you do not want. And look at the things that you do not want, you will instantly get an awareness of what you do want, the opposite of that. One of the biggest things about desire is we are constantly in the state of desire. And that can be incredibly frustrating. I was actually speaking with my wonderful producer and dear friend and coach, Melitza, today, and we were talking about that. My patience is very low. I have a very high demand for things change quickly. And when you have a high desire and you have a high desire for thinking quickly and it's not happening, it can become extremely overwhelming. So I really, I have to remind myself, and I want to remind all of the listeners, you are constantly going to be in a state of desire. That's what we are all about. We are always desiring more and more and more. And when you know that, and when allowance of your desire constantly growing, when things are not actualizing at that speed, that will give you a little bit of space or allowance around it. Okay? Because if your desire grows faster than your actualization, you can become frustrated. Very frustrated and overwhelmed. Like, how many of you out there listening were frustrated maybe with where you closed 2018? Did you look at your life? Did you look at your relationships? Look at your business, your career, your family, your home, your finances, and were you frustrated by the close? We start out with a great deal of positivity at the beginning of the year, and then oftentimes we can get to the end of the year and be frustrated by the level at which we did or did not create. So it's something that, I want you to keep in mind as we're going through this, that as your desire grows, your actualization may not, and you've got to give that some space, because if you put your energy and focus in there, guess what's your frustration. Your frustration is going to grow even greater, and that is not going to change your reality. And so if you were frustrated at the end of 2018 and you continue that behavior, right, you're going to likely get the same outcome, frustration at the end of 2018. And who wants to have that? That's not fun, right? So let's get into this. The very first key to receiving is asking. The key to receive is to ask. And while that maybe sounds extremely simple, I can say anything but simple. Today is January 2nd, 2019. Tomorrow is day 100 of a program I have run. Now, this is my second time running this program, and today will be the 100th day of 100 days to up your ask. That's the program. It's kind of a pun on words, but upping your ask. So for 100 days in a row, we have been upping our, and this is the second 100-day program that I've actually run in the last year. And what I really know is that we do not know how to ask. We have not been taught how to ask. We've actually been taught to stop asking. We really do have a huge struggle with asking. We don't know how to ask. People in this program, both programs, have said to me, like, I don't know what else to ask for. We are not in the habit of asking. So if you're not in the habit of asking, my friends, you cannot be in the habit of receiving. Now let me repeat that. If you are not in the habit of asking, you cannot be in the habit of receiving. The two go hand in. You know that there is a universal law called ask and you shall receive. But most ask for the majority of 5 to 10 things in our life. 10 things in our entire life. And we focus on those like someone with a gun ready to blow the thing up. We have so much energy that we project at these asks that we're no longer in a vibrational connection to the desire of the ask. We're just in the energy of, I want to get this damn ask, right? And so what happens when you're in that space and you're not asking on a regular basis, you're not asking and growing your asks, you do not get into the habit of receiving. You do not know how to receive, and you do not get into the vibration to receiving. So asking is a major, major key to receiving. Now, if you're interested in that 100 Days to Up Your Ask, it is a program you can purchase, and there is a book that comes along with it. You get a days of recordings that you can connect in with every day to support your journey of upping your ask. And And that is something that absolutely no, each and every person that has ever been in the program with me has really blown away at they thought that their asking was okay. And most people's asking is quite terrible. Most people's asking have gotten to the space of, that's enough. I'm just going to ask for those big things and that's all I want. Well, I really teach you about asking for the small and the big things, for asking on a daily basis, for asking for things that will contribute to all areas of your life and your body and your business, the whole thing. So asking is the key, is the number one key to your receiving. The second key to upping your receiving is questioning your beliefs. Questioning your beliefs. How many beliefs do you have about asking? How many beliefs do you have about receiving? How many of your beliefs are actually the ceiling to your asking and your receiving? Those beliefs that say you're asking or you need to be grateful for what you have, which, you know what, gratitude is great, but not when it comes with the energy of judgment. And most people that say you need to be or you should be, that's the energy of judgment, okay? How many of you are out there actually looking at your beliefs and questioning your beliefs? Do you ever hear yourself say things like, well, that's how I am, that's what I believe, or if you've ever heard yourself say, that's what I believe, would you be willing to question yourself? You don't need to do it with anybody else, but would you be willing to question your own? Because most people are not in a state of awareness. Most people are not being present. You are really present with yourself and you question your own beliefs, you have to unlock some lies and limitations that hold you back on asking and your receiving. You see, my friends, we have these in our lives. We've made choices. We've moved in direction, oftentimes so impacted by others that we get to the end experience and we go, what the heck was I thinking? What was I considering? Why did I do that? How many of you out there look at someone in relationship with and go, my God, was I asleep during that time? Where was I? You were there, but you weren't being present. You were there, but you were allowing people around you, their judgments, society's judgments, maybe financial reasons, maybe other people's happiness, maybe even the person you were in relationship, having what they value be more important than what you value, be in front of you and drive your choices. So how many of you are actually willing to now be so incredibly present with your beliefs that you step back and you really unpack them? You know, when you actually are willing to look at your choice in the past, not from a space of judgment, but really from a space of curiosity, when you're really willing to own the choices that you made, you can change them. I can tell you, I've told this story before. I advise to anyone that's heard it before, but I can tell you that when my marriage ended, I blamed my ex-husband totally and completely for years for what was created and, you know, the hurt and the pain that I endured. And finally, I get to a point that it wasn't changing, and I had to look at the anger and the pain was still there, even though we had physically, separated. We, legally divorced. We were not even living in the same city. Like, really, my interaction with him was low, and yet the anger was still so prominent. And I had to look at what was going on, and I had to own that I made those choices, as that I contributed to that relationship turning out the way that it turned out. I had to own it. And once I owned it, I started to unlock things for myself. and I was able to begin to look at the choices that I made and what was the driving force behind them. And a lot of times it was beliefs. And as I continued to dig, they weren't my beliefs. They were other people's beliefs that I was allowing myself to be driven by. So these are the first two steps in your receiving is, first of all, upping your ask, questioning your beliefs. So we have got more of the keys, 5 more keys to go through. We're going to go for our first break, but please do stick around. If you're in the chat room, I would hear your comments or your questions, or feel free to call in. If you're in the U.S., 815-880-255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or you can through to Inspired Choices Network. Okay, stick around, everyone. We will return right after the break to 7 keys to receiving. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, let's jump right back in. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We were talking about 7 keys to receive. Before we went to break, we talked about the first 2 keys. The first key is actually upping your ask will actually up your receiving. The second key was questioning beliefs. As you step into your asking and you step into the energy of what is coming, beliefs will come up and start to question those big time. You will find blockages and limitations and ceilings that you're going to hit with those beliefs. That is very, very important. Now, the third key is actually to be present. Present. Be extremely present with yourself. When you are being present, you want to acknowledge where you are at. Acknowledge where you are at and ask yourself, okay, what am I being in this moment? Am I being a victim? Am I being somebody that's feeling sorry for themselves? Am I being someone who is really questioning and unpacking from I don't want to use the word separated, but imagine that you're up in a helicopter and you're looking down at yourself. You're being incredibly present with everything that's going on around you. You're taking a macro view of both yourself and your surroundings, and you're looking at yourself and you're really saying, okay, what am I operating from right here, right now? Okay? When you are very present and you are taking that large macro view of what is going with you and how you are behaving, how you are thinking, the words that you are using, the actions that you are taking, it is going to you. It's going to be a very big telltale sign to, are you acting from the space victim or lack? Are you acting from the space of, it's done me wrong? Or are you acting from that space of power and potency? And power and potency is that space where you are very present. You say something, oh, wow, I just said that. You may have said, like, let's say you said something to the effect of, like, people don't actually care about what I think, right? Now, there can be an energy around that. Is that the space of victim, or is that the space of you're connected with people that aren't actually your quote-unquote tribe? You've got to be willing to really look at this and to be in that space of power and potency that will give you the strength to choose again and go, okay, wow, that was interesting what just came out of my mouth. Holy moly, what's that all about? Do I have some victim energy running? Do I have some poor me energy running? Do I have lack running? With the words that I'm using, with the energy that I'm being, got to be present. Because the key, one of the really big keys, is checking your energy. So when you're not being present and holding yourself accountable, and let me tell you guys, to be very, very present takes a lot of energy. It is so much easier to veg out. It is so much easier to check out and not be aware of what you're doing. But if you look around the world, we know right now, with so many things that have been on in the last 10, 20 years, that we have been so caught up in just relaxing and not giving a crap and checking out, that we have missed some very critical things that have been going on around us. We've got to show up and really be with what is truly happening right here, right now. And you don't have to go out and you don't have to be a savior out in the world in order to impact the world. When you are being present with yourself and you are your own words and you're checking your own actions and you're checking your own energy and your vibrations, and when you are changing that, you are contributing to the greater consciousness, the greater in the world. You have to check yourself before you can go to the world and contribute to changing anything that's not working. You have to be willing to be present and acknowledge where you are at. And as I said, this takes a lot of energy, and you've got to work your way up into it. And you know what? Sometimes, like I'm telling you, at the end of a day, when I'm just kind of like, I'm exhausted. This is the type of work that I am doing on a continuous basis. I go and I just completely check out with some tea. Like, I am not thinking, and I am actually not cutting out with all of the thoughts anymore, because it really does take a great deal. And that's okay. That's okay to take yourself out. I mean, that's one of the reasons we sleep, is so that we can rejuvenate ourselves again. All right? But when you're awake, be present. Check yourself. If you find yourself walking into rooms and not knowing, why did I walk? You find yourself like going to a website and go, what was I doing for this? Or you're looking for something and you're just like, can you remember what I was looking for? Or you find yourself in conversations and all of a sudden you can't think of what to say. You're not being present. You've got to check yourself. One of the very fast ways to make yourself present is to tap your thymus. That's just above your breastbone. Tap your thymus. And as you tap your thymus, say to yourself, be present, be present. And I can remember my very first radio show that I did, I was telling you, I was all over the place, and I had to constantly be to myself in my head, be present, because I was allowing the energy of fear and anxiety and excitement to just pull me away from my words. And that, friends, is one of the fastest ways to get yourself to be present. Okay, let's move on to number 4. This one's a really big one, and it's one that I am not saying lightly or tongue-in, because lots and lots of people are saying it. Number 4 is to be kind to you. That is such a huge, huge piece of receiving, because when you are in the space of doing all of the work that I'm talking about, first of all, really challenging yourself to ask, really, really questioning your beliefs and unpacking them a lot. Being present, that intensity of being present instantly. When you're super present, you're picking up, your awareness is so heightened that it can be exhausting and overwhelming. So the key to keep you moving is to be kind to you. The kindness that you can be for yourself, and stopping judging yourself, stopping ridiculing yourself. That can give you the sustenance that you require to continue to do this work each and every day. You know, consciousness for sissies. Consciousness is not for the weak. All right? There are so many people I know that are doing really intense work, moving through a great deal of this body of work that I'm talking about, all about consciousness, and it can be overwhelming. It can knock ass, and it can make you want to run away. I can remember the first time that I realized a huge aha about what I had been choosing and a lot of the things in my life, and when I understood it on this very deep level, I remember looking at a friend and saying, I wish I could unknow this. I wish I could unknow this. Can you imagine that? But it was like, it was so intense. The responsibility of consciousness is because you are shaping the world. You're not only shaping your world, but you're shaping our entire world. So the consciousness is a very big responsibility. Being kind to you is like putting that space to land as you move through unpacking all of this for you. It's a really big responsibility, and it's one that you chose. And in order for you to move through this, you've got to be willing to be kind. You've got to be willing to say, it's all right. I made that choice yesterday. I'm making a different one today. It's okay that I'm not where I desire to be. It's okay that I've made choices that have maybe hurt someone else or hurt myself. Today, I'm choosing again. That's the gift in consciousness. We know we can choose again. And you're the gift. Each day that you choose to be conscious, each day that you choose to move forward, you're the gift yourself. But you've got to be kind and gentle with you. You've got to know your limitations. And you've got to know when, you know what, I need to reach out to someone for support. There are amazing coaches in the world that are doing this work. This is their main focus. And when you reach out to them, they will hurt you. This is something that I do with people, and I absolutely doing this work because I understand the journey personally. Because I've only been doing it for many, many years, I continue to do it. So, my friends, if you need some kindness, if you are finding yourself weak in being present and moving through the body of work, please reach out. Let's connect. Let's see what we can do to support you to continue on this journey with much more ease, with much more speed, for more joy. Okay, up to our second break of the show. We've still got another 3 steps through, and I would love to hear your questions and your comments about what's up for you. Is this resonating? Do you have some thoughts around what I'm saying? Please be sure to join us in the chat room where you can type your comment or feel free to call in as well. So tonight you're listening to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver here on the Inspired Choices Network, where we're talking about the 7 keys to receiving. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around tonight. We are talking the 7 keys to receiving. It is the first show in 2019, just concluding tomorrow, 100 days of asking, a program that's running 2 years in a row now. And this really came up for me. This is something that now we are ready. We're ready to have more and more using receiving. So that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight. I also want to tell you about a special that I have going on. For the first 20 people, you can get a VIP day with me. It's 7 hours, one-on-one. We can in one day, or we can do it over the course of 7 days, whatever works for you. And Saturdays are open as well for this VIP program. This is a program that I've gathered. It can be personally, if you really have a great deal to move through personally, if you're really starting on your consciousness journey around self-confidence and moving through any kind of personal issues like relationships or parenting. This is an intense 7 hours of work that we do together. Or it can also be a business strat VIP day where we look at your business and we unpack every area of it. You can prepare for the most extremely successful year in 2019. This strategic analysis that I do and reviewing all of your finances, all your social media platforms, really laying out a month-by-month, week-by-week program for you to support you to move forward in growing your business. It's something that I absolutely love doing with business owners, and I would love to offer that to you. If that sounds like something that would be a contribution to you or someone that you know, please do connect with me. This program is normally $250 an hour, and for the 10-year special, I am doing all 7 hours for only $750. Now, all of these monies are in Canadian currency. So if you are from another country, from the U.S., from Europe, it probably cost you $150. But it is what the program was asking. So you're going to be saving $1,000. It's like a 65% savings for this program. And what a way to kick off the year. You know what? I just love working with entrepreneurs, and this just speaks to me huge. I love systems. I love getting things in place. And what really lights me up is seeing entrepreneurs growing with pleasure, growing their business pleasure, and not getting bogged down in all of the details that just really stem from creating. So do connect with me. That's called the VIP program. You're listening to the show. You can find the link in the replay as well, or you can my website, inspiredchoices.ca, and you will see the program. So let's get back to the show. Now, if there's any questions in the chat room I'm supposed to be addressing, Melissa, can you repost them for me so I don't miss out on them? I'm just great at reading and talking at the same time. All right, we're going to get back to our fifth step here on 7 steps to receiving and 7 keys to receiving. And the next action. Okay, so the question is, I still struggle with thoughts of waiting for the next shoe to drop, and I know it interferes with receiving. Wow. Yeah. No kidding. I understand that thought all of the time. And I'll tell you something. There's one thing that you can control in life. There's one thing. It's you. You're the only thing that you can control. And by control, I don't mean hold you down. I mean your choices. By your choices. Now, whether another shoe is going to drop, you have no control over what other actions people take. We don't. We like that we can, manipulate them. We like to think that we can control other people. We may be able to manipulate in a way to persuade people in a direction, but if something is a really big thing where you're afraid who's going to drop, you can't control them. But here's what you can do, is you can start to be super present with yourself, and you can acknowledge that you have the capacity always, no matter what, to make another choice. Never, ever, ever locked into something where you are going to be strangled or strong, that you cannot move outside of it. There is always another available to you. And when you are coming from the space knowing I have the choice, I have the power in how I am going to respond and how I am going to react and how I am going to be impacted by anything around, that's where you step into creating differently. That's where you step into owning your life. If you are sitting in fear, you are like a great big steel rod out when there's lightning. You are going to get hit. All right? Being in the energy of fear actually attracts those energies to you. So present, like we were talking about just now, being very, very present with your energies helps to change that. You've got to know that you have the power to make another choice, and that life and experiences are going to continue. They are. But you do not have to be at the impact of them. People pass on. People die, right? People get angry. People say unkind things. People do unkind things. You are not going to stop any of that. But the power that you have is the way that you respond within yourself and within your relationships with those around you. Do know that you came here to create and to make a difference in the world. And that world includes you. So as you're present and being kind to you and sitting in your knowing that you have the power, all sorts of shoes can drop. Hell, an entire shoe store can drop. You're not going to drop, my friends. When you live in expectation, you usually create that coming true, especially when it's something that is very, very negative. The fear energy actually matched very quickly because there's so many people operating from that sphere. It's very easy to find people who commiserate with us, right? From that space of because that's where people are at. It takes a strong individual to stay present and to work your consciousness to the point of creating something beyond the shoes dropping, beyond the fears. You've got this. Just the fact that you're asking these questions says that you know something else is true. Okay, here's the second question. What can we choose or be that would have consciousness be exciting and energizing? Well, I think I answered that already. What we can choose is us and our knowing. And this leads me into the next step is action. So taking action with asking, taking action with your energies, taking action with your words, right? Being inspired. What's inspiring to you? What's popping for you as you are in your asking and you're questioning your beliefs? What is it that is asking of you? Even ask, what can I make today to strengthen my ask and receive? And follow. Take those actions. You cannot sit, ask a question, and just sit and do nothing. You've got to contribute to the change. Movement changes the energy within you and actually starts to add to the energy of you being attracted to and your asks and receiving being attracted to you. That's where the matching actually comes in. So action. Action can you be taking? What action? Maybe some of your actions are engage in negative conversations. That may be an action. Maybe an action is to read that changes your thought processes. What are you listening to? What are some of the maybe the books you're listening to or the podcasts or the TV shows? What are you that's contributing to your mindset? Those actions are crucial. Our next step is actually celebrate. Celebrate. It's important. Most of us are not celebrating in life. We're looking at and acknowledging what we have accomplished and celebrating it. Do you look at the end of your day and go, look what I did today. That was amazing. I'm going to celebrate that. I'm going to be in joy with myself. I'm going to enjoy me. I'm going to be in that space of gratitude for me. When you are celebrating, you are acknowledging. And when you are acknowledging, you are being present. And when you are being present, you're being aware. You are being conscious. And when you are being aware and being conscious, you are creating your desires. Because you're going to be present and conscious and choose things you do not desire. You're going to choose the things you desire. So celebration is fuel that feeds your choices. Celebration, that fuel that gets you through the exhaustion of consciousness. Celebration is that fuel that lifts you up. Little celebrations, small celebrations, but regularly celebrating. Who do you know that you can share your wins with? Who do you know? Sharing them just multiplies them. It's exciting when we hear people's joys. Most people are just sharing all of their misery. Let's share our celebration so they can multiply. All right, we are up to our final break of the show. When we get back, we're going to wrap it up with our final step in receiving. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. You can listen in to the replay right after the show, or you can check in on all of the other. There's over 200 other shows that I have done with, over 4,000 in our archives. If you're looking for some motivation, inspiration, some amazing ideas, do check out all of our archives. Back right after this short commercial break. You're listening to Christine McIver here on the Inspired Choices Show. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736. Or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight. This is a show that definitely is going to be one that I'm even going to listen to remind myself. So tonight we're talking about the 7 keys to receiving. And if you're just joining us now, please back to the beginning and listen to all of the steps, because it really is an evolution of you adding to your receiving. So when we last finished, we ended with celebrate. Celebration is a big, big key to your receiving. And the final step in receiving, the 7 keys to receiving, is truly receiving. And as funny as that might seem, that I'm even saying that final key, it's because most people do not know how to receive. It really is true, right, Melissa? Like, people don't know how to receive. We don't know how to kindness. We don't know how to receive people loving us. We don't know how to receive people's kind words or kind gestures. Even someone saying that's a beautiful outpouring. That is very hard for most people to just very easily receive it. Most of us will make a excuse about it. Well, really, this thing, like, it's really kind of old, and, like, I even really beautiful top. Okay, I'm telling on myself. you know I'm always being honest on my show. I bought this really, really top at Christmas time. Like, I was out looking for a real nice Christmas top. I was actually going for a sweater, and I found this beautiful A-line cut top. It came down. It looked like it had a little skirt in the back, and it had a zipper down. It had a black underlay with brocade, I think it's called, like red design. All it was absolutely perfect for Christmas, and I loved it, and it fit like a glove. And here's the really cool thing, that it was on % off, and it was only originally like $30, and I got it for $10. So what do you think I said the minute the first person in me in that top? Right? I was like, oh, yeah, like I only paid by Z for it, right? I got it on sale. I got it for only $17. What did I do when I opened my mouth and said that? I diminished the value. And not only the value of the outfit, but the value in their comment. I diminished the value in their compliment. And I diminished receiving. I did not receive in totality, absolutely not. And I'm telling you guys, I was so present with it. I was like, what in the hell did you just say? This is what I'm saying in my head, right? What the hell did you just say? And I checked myself. And so the next person, because of a beautiful talk, the next person that said something to me, I said, thank you. And I still resisted the urge to tell them the amazing deal I got. But I really had to do this again and again and again. So let me ask you, how good are you at actually receiving totality? Are you able to be present without a quick response of giving back to them exactly what they just gave to you? Are you good at that? Are you good at receiving, or do you always have to try to fix something? When you are doing that, you are not receiving in totality. So really, it's time to change our receiving so we can change the way that others receive from us and that we can all be even greater. Thank you, my friends, so much for being with me tonight. Please do next week where we'll have another show that's going to challenge you and contribute to you. And if you would like to connect with me, if you'd like more about the programs that I've been talking about, please do email me, Christine at Inspired Choices Day. And until next week, no matter what's going on in your world, I want you to remember this one key. You can always make another choice. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.